Hi, good morning. I'm going to start a new bag. And I just want to just show you how I started it, because here I am with the original bag, purchased canvas bag. And the size of this is 15 by 16 and a half inches. And then I had a couple ladies ask about where do I get the bags. And these bags that I purchased them in from Amazon, and I chose these ones because I liked the handle for one thing too, because the handle is made out of the 100% cotton, where and the bag is 100% cotton, but some of them you can get and the bag might be made with the cotton, but then it's got a nylon handle. Well, I wanted a strong handle too. So, and these were 6 bags for about $14, and so that a little over $2 a piece, which was not bad. So let me show you this one here. If you didn't see the last video, this is I'm yawning. This is the one I just finished. I still don't know if I'm going to do something with the handle. I thought about doing something with the handle, but it doesn't look bad just having it plain like this. But this is the bag that I did by covering a piece of muslin and then adding that pillowcase type muslin cover to over the bag, and then I put some fringe at the top. And so that's quite a simple one. And so now what I'm doing is when I do this next one, I want to start with a more colorful background. And so this one here, it's got these little peace symbols all over, and this bright pink, hot pink. And so I think that will be awesome, because you can see through, if you move these pieces, you see the muslin through. And so behind the pieces you see that. And so I thought having the scraps put right onto something bright like this would be. Now I'm going to cut I tore the fabric already in one length, and I made it wider than the bag. I made it wider than the bag because then I'll want room on the edges. This still might be a little bit too wide, but I can, because when I sew it, when I stitch together, after I get this whole thing covered and I stitch it together, I'm going to stitch it on the outside. I'm gonna stitch it with the raw. I'm gonna stitch it along here where the raw sides, with the raw sides edge it in out. I won't stitch it to where it's folded in, if that makes any sense. Good grief, nothing I say makes sense. So then I want to make it only one piece, so I will just use the bag, because you might get a bag that's a different size. So I don't want to give you actually a size that, because to tear your fabric, because it might your bag might be of a different size. So to go from the bottom, well, then I need to have that little, well, no, it's going to fold under, so I don't need much space to go under. And then up at the top, I want it to be a little taller, because a little taller than the top here, because I'm going to fold it under when I stitch it to the bag. So I want to make it, it's going to be this doubled, this length and doubled. And so I'll double that. And then that is where I will tear my fabric, or cut it, however you do it. I tear. So then that's the little bit I took off, which was my scraps. Okay. Now I was asked if I could make a collection of scraps, just scraps, to put into my Etsy store. So what I think I'm going to do is, what I'll do is I'm just going to make collections of little pieces like this, just small pieces of scraps, and I'll just get like a Ziploc bag, and I don't know, maybe I'll see how much it weighs, but I'll go by weight, and I'll probably make a bag of 12 ounces or something like that. I'll see how much that turns out to be, and then I will sell them that way. Just the little scraps like this, so that you can have a collection of different colors and pieces. But I'll try and make them. They won't all be like this size. Maybe some will be a little bit bigger, maybe some will be a little bit smaller, and maybe some will be not exactly the shape, but they'll be pieces that you can stitch to your outer fabrics for these type of bags anyway. So I'm gonna work on them today a little bit and hopefully be able to get some of them posted. And all right, so anyway, on with the circus here. I really think I might have this much too wide. Let me see how much wider I have this than the bag itself, because I don't want to cover up too much. And yeah, this is going to be a little bit, let's see, yeah, this is going to be a little bit too wide. So I'm going to measure. Okay, I figure I'll need this much. I'll need this much on the edge here to sew, like a 1/2 inch, and over here maybe another 1/2 inch over on this side. So I'm going to already go ahead and take some of that off, so that I don't have too much. There, see? And now a piece like this may go into the scrap bag. See, into my scrap bag. So if you go to look at my scrap bags, you're going to get sizes. Like they might be as small as this or as big as this. So yeah, just to kind of let you know, if I only had one person ask me about that, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, I want to get this here jar that I have up here. Stand up and stretch myself up here. I have this one little jar of scraps here that I'm going to pull out of. How big are these? Oh, some of the, yeah, you might get some scraps like this size. You might get some like that too. And because my scraps are, so if you get something big like this, I might cut that down so that, you know, and they'll be in different collections. These are pretty big. These ones here are bigger than what I need, but they're all different. They're all different. So I'm going to use some of these. I'm going to go ahead and, oh, I didn't realize I had such large scraps in here. I'm going to cut some of these right now, just to take up some of your time, because you know I just don't plan things ahead at all. So, and you know, I love the torn. I love the torn look. I like the cut look too, but most of my cut I like to do with, if I'm going to cut, I like to cut with pinking shears, either that or just tear. And so see there, and I've got torn pieces, and I'm just going to show you a little bit on this. This isn't going to be long at all because it takes a while to get all of these pieces sewn onto the background. But I do think that this is going to be so pretty with having the pinks peeking all through the background. And you see how like this one's full of string, hanging strings? I just leave them strings on there. And then like if you're sitting in the doctor's office and you've got it, see, the only place I go is to the doctor, and you see strings, you can just have something to do then is pull them strings off. Now I'm cutting these ones, I'm cutting because we don't, you know, they don't have to be. Now you might want your pieces to be exactly square or exactly rectangle or something, but I find it, once you get them all together, I find having a assortment of sizes and shapes actually makes it even more fun, if that's, yeah, fun. I like fun. So, and see, I've got some quite different pieces here. And there might be a piece of fabric that you think, like this, you know, that, you know, it's not ugly at all, but it's kind of plain, and what would you use it for? Who knows? Maybe you would never use it, but when you have them cut into pieces, like I love this one, but if you have them cut into pieces, they, the colors just start all looking really good together. Like this one, look at that, how bright that is. So that one is going to really pop when you start getting them stitched onto your piece, onto your background piece. So, and I'm just to make my job go quicker, I'm just kind of putting more than one piece of fabric. See how pretty some of these are, the colors. And when you cut them apart, some of them you go cut them apart, and they just, when you have just a little piece, it's really almost prettier. Not prettier, but it makes it stand out or something. The colors just stand right out. And I have so many little scrap pieces of fabric because I have been sewing, doing a lot of sewing for like a long part of my life. And I don't believe I've ever thrown any scraps away. Maybe I've thrown little, I don't know, I've thrown very little away. I've done so many different things, and now there's crumb quilting and sandwich quilting and all these things that you can do with these small pieces. And so I got all them cut up into little chunks, little chunks, little chunks. Yeah, I didn't cut this piece. I'm not going to cut that one right now. This is enough to just get started. And so then what I do, then I just start stitching them on. So I should have a dish or something to put these in. So many pieces go on the floor. And I'm just going to put these pieces just like this. They're all mixed up like a tossed salad. Tossed salad. And so my my piece is now this length, you know, it's quite long because it's going to go on both sides of the handbag, or I'm calling them my project bag, because I find that they're going to be fun to carry your projects around with you. If you're going to go and have to wait at the airport for somebody and you don't want to sit there and do a project, put your knitting or your whatever you want to put, just put in there. And so, okay, where'd I put my stick now? I use my little stick. I have a little chopstick here, or a, yeah, little stick. Use this chopstick or a skewer or something, and instead of your finger, okay? Because now you can leave these just flat and just sew them on flat, but and I am gonna do one of them one time where I sew them on flat, but for right now, well, wait a minute, I gotta change my stitch. I want this to be 22, and then I want to change the width. Okay, there we go. And it says to have the end foot, which is, that's what's there. Okay, and so then, see, I put on each piece, and what I do is I pull up a piece when I get one on, then I pull up another one, and it takes a while because it's a stop and go thing. But and even though you're using a machine, this is slow stitching, because it, don't get in a hurry. Just don't be in a hurry when you do it. And see, then I'll just take another piece and just keep and I push. Whoops. Although I'm holding on to the base fabric, because I don't want to gather it. I only want to gather up the pieces that I'm stitching on. So that's why I yeah, so then I use the stick to kind of just shove that little piece under the presser foot, and then it's like wrinkled up under there. And so here, this one's almost the shape of like a triangle. So it, like I say, it doesn't have to be in any perfectly square shape, but I think if you were to do something like this and you did it all in like round circles or something, you know, that would be real pretty too. So, and since I have 6 bags, this is number 2 that I'm using, and so I'll have 4 more that I can play with and make and design different things on them, and that will be fun. That will be a lot of fun to see how each one comes up a little different, because I do want them to all be a little bit different. And I don't know what I'll do with all these bags. I made one bag and it was different than this. And I gave that one to my daughter. She's just going to use it for a purse. And although I think she'll like these ones better, I do think. So she may swap with me. But I may end up putting them on Etsy. I don't know. You know, I'm always one who just, I guess I can just put them on there, and if people want to buy them, then good. If they don't want to buy them, well, then that's good too, you know. Then, but I'm always thinking that my stuff isn't good enough. I have had that problem all my life, that my stuff is just not good enough, which I've had jillions of people telling me my stuff is amazing. And so I have to get used to hearing that, because I watch the professional fabric artists on YouTubes and stuff, and I see what they're doing, and they're professional. They're just really, really, really good. And then I look at mine and think, oh yeah, I look like a blind 3-year-old. I'm trying to sew in the dark. But, so anyhow, But see, I need to get more pieces up here in my stash, so I have, but see, everything different. I don't want anything to be real matchy. There we go, see? So now, then I'll do my next row. Well, I could just turn the fabric and just start again, but, and go down the next row. And see, I think I'm gonna like this. See there, I skipped a piece. I didn't, well, somewhere there. I can always put another little piece right in there. But I think by having this pink in the background, that's going to make a big difference, because that's going to show through. Although now what I do is when I start on this next row here, when I start putting the second row, I'll push this back, sort of. I'll hold this back over as I'm stitching, so my next bunch will be stitched like right here, see? It'll be like right there. And so then see how it just pokes up then. I don't put any space really. I don't put any space. I don't, you know, I want very little space in between each row. And so then I, like I say, if you're real careful, you can not have to use your stick. And so, if you're real careful, but you gotta be so real careful, which I've always tried to be real careful, but I have ended up in the ER, which was years ago, and had to have a piece of a needle taken out of my finger, surgically, major surgery that was. But I made it home in time to finish my project. This is my project. I was making a tote bag, and I called it a gopher bag. Here in Florida, we have these turtles that we call gophers. We call them gophers. Well, we were having day camp for the Girl Scouts, and I was a Girl Scout leader at the time, and we had one lady, Mary Lou. She was the gopher. So if anybody ever needed something for their troop or whatever through this, let me get my camera up there where it should. I don't want you to see my nightgown. See how professional I am? I don't even get dressed. Why don't that turn like it should? Oh, there we go. That's better. Now you can kind of see what I'm doing, and you can see my mess. Okay, so I am a mess. But anyhow, she was our gopher, and because she would go for anything for us, you know, if we needed anything. We ran out of Elmer's glue, she'd run and go get that for us. So she was our gopher. And so the next day was the last day of our day camp. It was a week of day camp, and the next day was the last day, and it was going to be awards and things. So I was making her a gopher I was making a tote bag, and the tote bag had a turtle on it, which, like I say, we call a gopher here in Florida. It's the gopher turtle. And so that's what I was making, and I was appliquing that turtle onto the tote bag. See how I'm pushing that off to the side a little bit? Of course you can't see it, because I don't know how to get my camera down there where you can see it. And so, yeah, and I sewed my finger. Oh my gosh, the needle went right through it went through my fingernail, and hit the bone and broke. And so then I unscrewed the needle from the sewing machine, and so I still had the needle sticking in my finger, and I didn't know what to do. So I put my hand in I had a gallon jar of ice water, and that took the pain off anyway. waited for the hubster to get home, and so he could just pull it out. And it hurt so bad then, I knew it wouldn't hurt any worse with him getting a pair of pliers and pull that thing out. And so he did. He pulled it out, and then he says, well, where's the rest of the needle? Did you find the rest of the needle? And I said, no, it's nowhere to be found. Oh, my finger was in so much pain. And so finally he said, well, we're going to have to go get that thing looked at and see if that needle is inside your finger. Which they did, a little x-ray on there, and they seen where the needle was in 2 more pieces in there. And it was actually jammed in the bone. And so they had to do just a little surgery thing right there in the ER. You know, it wasn't real major. For them, it wasn't major. For them, for me, it was just as major as open heart surgery. And they got those 2 pieces. They had to remove most of my fingernail and get those 2 pieces out of my finger. And so I've been trying very carefully to be a little more careful. And the last time I saw Mary Lou, now this has been years ago, because I was the Girl Scout leader. My girls were little. They were Girl Scouts, yeah, so they were little. But the last time I saw Mary Lou, she still had her bag. She goes, I wouldn't get rid of that bag for nothing. And so, because I delivered her bag to her with a big old bandage on my finger. And of course I told everybody about my woes, you know. And let everybody know about my troubles. And so, yeah, so you got to be careful, because you can actually sew your finger. Okay, so now I have two rows on there, but see how the 2 rows are, see, there's a row and a row, but you can pull them apart and see how much fabric is in between each row. And I'm trying to keep like here I got a lot of the pink hardy stuff right there, but can't really see the stitching on the back. But I will continue this until I cover this whole thing. And I think this will be fun, because where on the other one the muslin shows through, what will show through on here will be the pink. So that'll give it a lot more color. And which the other one has color, I mean. But I'm going to go ahead and cut some more fabrics up right here, so I have more of a selection of colors. And so I'm not going to make this, I'm not going to do the whole thing on here, because I'd have you here through supper time. You'd miss supper, you'd miss lunch, you'd miss everything. And so, but I will continue this until the whole thing is covered, and then I'll be back with another video before I put the cover onto the bag. And so, although I've done that already and showed it once, I'm going to just show it again. I'm just going to show it again. But I want to get more fabrics cut, because I want to, this is a pretty good sized piece. That's got a hem on it, so that means that was on a curtain or something before. I'm going to cut them. I'm going to cut them up. And see this one here, that's pretty. I'm going to cut that. I've got some very pretty ones, and so hopefully I'll get a collection of different colors, and hopefully I'll get that collection I was talking about and get that put up. See, here's some small ones here. There's a little piece of lace. See, that'll go on there. You never know what's going to go on there. You never know what you're going to get. But this is the kind of things right here. You're going to find things like this in those collections. There might be a little piece of lace like this. It's going to be scraps. I mean little scraps. Like this. See how little those are? So, Yeah, see, some will be a little bit bigger, but it'll be like a good collection of different colors and styles, and even of fabrics, because we might end up with, I'm just pulling them out of my scrap bag. Oops, I got some eyelash trim in there. I won't put that on there. But see how you just end up with so many different little scraps like this. And that's what's going to be in the bag. And I'm going to sell them by the weight. So when I put the description of what they are, the weight of the bag is what will be in the description. And so I really should have weighed this. That's what I think I'll do, is I might weigh this bag that I have finished. Well, no, because then that would be the bag. I'm going to weigh this when it's finished. I'm going to weigh this when it's finished so I can kind of see how many scraps you actually need to do one of these. And then I'll have that many scraps plus a little bit more. And then like this here flower that Tracy made. The other ones I already put on my daughter's bag and they're gone. But this is little scraps. Just little scraps like this that you can just make little flowers. But now like this one, it does have some fibers in it. Like you can use fibers and you just squish them all up. You just squish them all up. I haven't made one yet, but I'm going to be squishing soon and make one. But yes, this is what I'm going to do. Oh, you know what? Well, I got a new book yesterday, but it's not in here. So I want to read you something. Let's see. Loving Poems for All Seasons. This one here. Helen Steiner Rice, who I love dearly. Oh my goodness. Let's see. The magic of love. Let's do that. Love is like magic, and it always will be, for the love still remains life's sweet mystery. Love works in ways that are wondrous and strange, and there's nothing in life that love cannot change. Love can transform the most commonplace into beauty and splendor and sweetness and grace. Love is unselfish, understanding, and kind, for it sees with its heart and not with its mind. Love is the answer that everyone seeks. Love is the language that everyone speaks. Love can't be bought. It's a priceless and free. Love is like pure magic in a sweet mystery. And it is. Love is magic. And we need love in our life. And I am so happy that I do have love in my life, because that is the petroleum I need to keep going. So I want to just ask God to watch over each and every one of you, every step you take, every move you make, and sew some scraps together. It's amazing what you come up with just your scraps of fabric. All right? My husband was doing his wash yesterday. I just have to tell you, I do my wash, he does his. Sometimes he does mine too, but usually we do it that way. And he said, I had to do my wash today. I was at my last t-shirt. And I said, but you have a stack of t-shirts. And he goes, yeah, they're all too big. I said, they're all too big? Then why are they not in my sewing room? They need to be in my sewing room so I can cut them apart into little pieces. That's right. Don't just leave them stacked up in there. Okay, I ask God to watch over you every step. I already said that. But I ask him again, every step you take, every move you make. And I will see you on the next video. God bless. Love you all, and thank you for watching.